Human trafficking. You might think of children and adults snatched up in third world countries and sold for sex, but the FBI recognizes St. Louis as one of America's major hubs for child prostitution. News Channel 5's Mike Rush joins us with tonight's cover story. Mike?
Mike, it happens with children as well as adults. I spoke with an adult victim of sex slavery who hopes by showing her face, she will shed more light on this crime.
It really shows some of the confusion or some of the kind of inconsistency even within the professional world around human trafficking. I think part of that is...
On the Wash U campus, Katie Rhoades blends right in, just another student working toward a better future. But it's Katie's past that may give you pause.
I was picked up by a pimp when I was 19.
She's the victim, she says, of sexual slavery.
Part of the trap is that I didn't imagine that there was a way out.
Her in began about 10 years ago. Katie was a runaway, suffering from depression, abusing drugs and alcohol, and working as a dancer in topless bars in Portland, Oregon. But she wanted out. She wanted to clean up her life. And then one night, a lady walked into the bar saying all the right things.
So she kind of offered me a way out of that situation and offered to take me to California.
Within days, Katie was living in San Francisco, wined and dined at first by the woman and her boyfriend, but the boyfriend turned out to be a pimp.
Not too long after that, his main girl, his bottom girl, she was in charge of showing me how to make the money that I needed to make, and that involved prostitution.
Through nightclubs and escort services, Katie didn't know what to do. She was in a strange city, cut off from her family and friends, and living in a large house with other girls under lock and key.
I wasn't allowed to leave on my own. I couldn't even get out. Whether we were inside or outside the house, the alarm was on. I was told when to eat, when to sleep. You know, when I was working, I couldn't say no.
Although it didn't happen to her, she saw plenty of other girls get beaten, and she says more of her freedoms were at stake if she didn't make her quota of $1,000 a shift.
One point I made $800 in 30 minutes, which was probably about 4 guys.
If you think Katie's story is unique,
it's going on, but it's well hidden, and that's another
think
red
again.
flag sometimes.
FBI agent Billy Cox says human trafficking numbers are hard to tabulate. Victims, he says, often don't trust authorities, or they're too afraid of their pimps to talk. While Cox and his team may investigate 7 human trafficking cases a year in Metro St. Louis, he believes sex slavery is much more widespread.
You can go out there on the internet and start looking at advertisements for girls, just say in the St. Louis area, and you can see anywhere from 20 to 50 a day.
Pat Bradley heads International Crisis Aid, headquartered in St. Louis. He's raising money to build a safe house in St. Louis for victims of the sex trade.
If we had a home that we opened the door tomorrow that could house 20 girls, I have been told by different sources it'd be filled in an hour.
Katie's way out began when she went into treatment for her drug problem, away from the grasp of her pimp. She's now 30, working on a graduate degree in social work and willingly showing her face to us and in presentations as a face of human trafficking, not ashamed of her experience, but empowered by it to raise awareness and hopefully affect change.
I think shame and silence and embarrassment is what keeps this hidden. And if I don't talk about it, then who else is going to?
Katie also volunteers for a local group called the Covering House. That's the organization that actually put us in touch with her. And Mike, Covering House is also raising funds, trying to form a safe house for sex slaves under the age of 18.